Wanna be starting something. Got to be starting something. Starting something. Got to be starting something. Hey, hey. Shout out to MJ. Reaching out across the window. Why? Why? Tell them that is human nature. What we doing? Yeah, this is gonna be a quick John. Quick stream. First of all, hope y'all doing okay out there in the world. The morning. Have a good evening, good night, good afternoon, everywhere you are in the world. Blessings. But yo, this stream is about to be some real talk, right? Some real talk about that bizarre person that calls himself a crypto founder. Very bizarre. For those of you who are new, who've never seen this channel before, greetings. You know, I talk about different things on this channel, and the topic of this stream. Well, I can say, to be honest with you, for the most part, I talk about a lot of things related to cryptocurrency, DeFi. Every now and then I talk about other things that come to mind that I'm interested in, whatever, different topics. But today is going to be about crypto, right? And it's just pure and simple, like simple and plain. And it's just my opinion based on my observations. That's it. Nothing deeper than that. The founder of the fork of Ethereum, there's this blockchain, right? For those of you who don't know, cryptocurrency, dealing with blockchains, you're dealing with coins, exchanges, centralized, decentralized exchanges, etc., etc. We have this nondescript founder of a blockchain called Pulse Chain, who has been MIA, right? Like, and when I say that, I'm talking about missing in action. Like, the person doesn't stream anymore like they used to. Their internet online presence severely diminished, right? Since 2022. Severely diminished. Here we are, 2026. Only thing that he claims he uses that he doesn't use, but he's been using, or someone's been using on his behalf, is Twitter. This weirdo appears to be not only hiding, but a couple years ago he issued a pre-recorded stream telling his community at the end of his 1 hour stream that, for example, I don't even care to rehash or talk about. He spoke about how he was bulletproof and safe, and how you didn't have to worry about him and his, like his whereabouts or whatever. But, and I've spoken about this at length. If you have to tell the world you're bulletproof and safe in a random way, like you're implying in your own way, excuse me, you're implying in your own way that you're under some type of duress. Otherwise, why would you have to mention that you're bulletproof and safe? That should be understood. But to say those words in a pre-recorded stream. No one asked him. Again, it's pre-recorded. You speak in your mind. But to that point, he already had disappeared. Right? He already had disappeared for 2 years from the community, from streaming, from his online presence, right? Except posting gibberish on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're comfortable, if you're in a comfortable situation, you're settled, you know, no one's disturbing you, the first thing you wouldn't have to, it would, again, be understood, you wouldn't have to mention to the world that you're bulletproof and safe. Right? This was after the world discovered that he had a red notice out for him by Interpol. Red notice. 2 months later, he launches a video, pre-recorded, talking gibberish, and at the end of the pre-recorded, talking about he's bulletproof and safe. In other words, you're not. You're on the run. You've been running. You've been hiding. And you're hurt. I believe he's hurt. And not necessarily physically, but of course, emotionally, mentally, even if he's void of a conscience. Let's say he's just this person, void of a conscience, you're a narcissist, sociopath, piece of shit garbage, right? It bothers him. Because even when he says to the world that, it annoys him when people say that he's dead. That bothers him. Why would it bother you? Why even mention that? Right? Because it plucks his nerve. It does bother him. He's upset that people, the world, don't really care to pay attention at the level where he thinks he deserves. Not popular like he thinks he is. You want to disable comments in your videos, not just for YouTube algo reasons. Why would you want to read most of the comments being negative towards you, right? Because it hurts, dude. Dude is hurt. Some people think it's more than just about being hurt mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Some people think, this dude kidnapped, been something happened to him, might end up somewhere, don't need to be, all kinds of crazy stuff. All kinds of crazy stuff. Shout out to the viewers. Is that Clash in the building? Diversifying the building. Like, you could surmise, okay, you want to disappear because you had a lot of smoke to deal with. You had to deal with SEC. You beat them. Jurisdiction. Pulled out the jurisdiction card. They couldn't reach him. Okay, cool. You finessed your way out of that. Paid for great attorneys to support you, or I would say expensive. Cool. One more after that. You disappear, still quiet. Maybe you realize he became a target. He realized he became a target, right? And all this grandiose rage marketing, want everybody to look at you, sort of backfired. Don't need that attention anymore, or realize a whole bunch of everything and realize, man, he put himself in an unsafe situation. You're not as untouchable as he thought you were. An entity relieved him of his watches, whether he left them behind or not. You don't have his watches anymore, right? The hell is wrong with this situation right here? What's going on? No, you hiding and you hurt. You could be hurt physically, you could be hurt mentally, emotionally, psychologically, financially, but this ain't regular. While going through this, he could be saying to himself, yo, this ain't it. You got to deal with all these problems, such and such and such and such. Why are you going to pump his own chain? Yeah, I think you should pump your own chain because I think he should pump his own chain because he's the central figure in charge of the most, right? In his chain. You the guy with the biggest bags, the biggest access, got the keys. You can make things pop. That's why I think he should pump his own chain. But he's probably thinking, why should he? If he's going through all kinds of chaos, pretending like he's working hard for everyone's betterment or the betterment of crypto, making the world a better place, if you feel like he's going through all kinds of drama, stress, and pressure, why are you going to reward folks? No, you're going to make everybody else feel it too, because that's just the type of person he appears to be. If he's suffering, everybody's suffering. Because he's weird like that. And what he fails to understand is some of us, many of us, like our world don't revolve around him. You understand? Our world does not, we don't wake up thinking everything is about this guy, this weirdo. He wants people to praise, to basically worship the invisible ground he walks on. That's what he wants. That's what he has. Because some people they're just insufferable. They don't care what he does. They're brainwashed to the maximum. Zombies can't think for themselves. They're lost. That guy is their hero, even now. Some people believe he's still their hero. And you know what's crazy is those who came after the top, after the 10,000X story, you come into the community and you bought the top and you rode it all the way down, and then you became this brainwashed zealot to this day, and haven't even seen any gains, or you had to sell yourself. You had to compromise yourself to achieve gains. Befriend people, be paid, right? Try to find a way to fit in. But it wasn't the market that right? You didn't get anything from any gains from the market. Could be a bunch of different things. But even those people, I mean, it's insufferable. Brainwashed sheep. That's what this man wants. But he's hiding and he's hurt. Period. Period. Been hiding. And he ain't comfortable. And people can communicate with him, have been able to communicate with him the whole entire time. That's from observation. That's from observation. I don't know. I'm outside of looking in like everybody else who participates, in a sense where you're like, yo, you're looking at these stupid charts. You're looking at macro, schmacro. You're looking at how this guy gaslights his community. Right? The same people that threw all this crypto his way, he gaslights. You're looking at all the faux pas he's committed. within the last 3 years. And you're wondering, wait a minute. What? How the tablets doing? How the scratch, etch a sketch, scratch pads doing for marketing? What's that done? Anyway, hiding and hurt. Hiding, hurt, confused. If you look at him in those videos, right? Yo, you sunlight deficient, bro. You look at him in those videos, pre-record. Clash, I can't see everything you said. It's not your fault. It's because I didn't sacrifice for a new pair of glasses. Clash in the building. Somebody said hi. Hi. It's just we have to understand something. Like, sometimes people gotta really see things for what they are. Like, you're looking at how this person appeared in these videos, and the more, like, over the years, he's in the dark. You got some kind of black background. You don't want people to know where you are. For whatever privacy, schmivacy, nivacy, whatever anonymous anonymity reasons you want to call it. You're sunlight deficient. You don't see it in his skin. Like, you're looking at this guy's face. He look horrible, bro. I don't like him, but that's not why I'm saying he look horrible. Like, really, I'm keeping it real. I don't like him. Like, think he's cool. You're a clown to me because of what he's done and how he's behaved. He's supposed to be a man, act like a little boy, crying, and then tell the world is crying and cry fagging, right? Man behaves like a child. But if you look at his appearance, you could tell, like, nah, he's not the same. And the folks dismiss that. The folks meaning his cheerleaders. They dismiss the real. They dismiss the real. What they'll tell you is, no, focus on the tablets. The dude looks sick. What you mean? Sunlight deficient, not because he's white. Look at his skin, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, you being, you're trying to be pejorative and racist. It got nothing to do with, look at him. The dude, it looks like he hasn't been outside, right, for too long. That's why I used to say, this dude is acting like he lives in a Faraday cage. Some remote place, some cave dwelling, lined up with a Faraday paper, so no signals can go in and out. He can't be located and traced type situation. Yeah. Because it makes no sense. Makes no sense. You dismiss real issues. I don't care what the strategy is anymore, whether he's buying and holding, whether he's selling, he's part of the whole sell pressure, reverse psychology that he tried to put on the community, but it's really him. I don't care about any of that foolishness. You know what I mean? None of those things matter. What matters is understanding that without the head, the body falls. And people just can't wrap their heads around that, accepting that, right? They believe that the body can continue to perform as if it's some type of roach, right? Some type of insect that can still live headless. Some kind of amphibian, water species that could still live without the body or without its head. Make it make sense. The people tried to rally together to become somewhat of a representation of leadership. These weird developers and founders, inexperienced, first time they try to make an attempt. Talk about elephant not in a room. It was a miserable fail, because what happened was everybody just splintered in their own direction, own way, and some still remained together in their own camps and collectors and insider groups, exclusive groups, and just kept launching coins, launching this, launching that, and extract. Sacrifice after sacrifice, after extraction after extraction. You get community members that come in, you never even seen them before. Paid actors, paid shills, whatever. Next thing you know, they launch their own coin, right? They build a following, the regular schmegler. But this weirdo who used to call out scammers, who used to every now and then add to his 2020 list of scams that came out in October of 2020, who used to just say to the people, hey, look at the scams that came out. Why don't you add to the list whatever you know, add to this thread. He doesn't even do that anymore. He doesn't even denounce bad behavior among his own fake influencers and key opinion leaders who've also made mistakes by launching coins and thinking they knew what they were doing, call it experimenting at the behest, right? You're experimenting at the detriment of your own supporters, pulling liquidity. Contracts come out, it's gonna get sniped, but you think you know what you're doing, you don't. You get got by your own people, your believers who support you weekly when you do weekly streams and do all kinds of things, and you seem like you know what you're doing. You launch a coin and you're thinking you're gonna do something good for the community and the people are gonna make money. Everybody's in it to make money, and what happens? You take the money, and that's supposed to be cool. And your boss doesn't even care, doesn't even give a F. In fact, the boss will promote the influencer and support the influencer. So it's just too many things that this guy has done. I'm talking about the founder has done, where it doesn't matter. Like, as far as like, what you think you're gonna engender goodwill? You think he's gonna engender trust moving forward? What happens is people just become jaded. Some decide to sell and leave. Some decide to just do for them. Do for them and not care whatever he got going on. Some decide to stick it out, and it's zero or hero. Either everything goes to zero or the opposite, right? And I feel like that's where we are with it on a certain level. Like, dude moved like a scammer until he's not. Move like a scammer until you're not. You're not gonna admit when you make mistakes, except you're going to talk about how your trade, your Ethereum trade, local top Ethereum trade was atrocious, right? And just to think about how folks just put him on blast and Front Street and exposed that trade that he did by following the wallet movements, sacrifice wallet movements. People are on him like white on rice. And just for that to simply be exposed and for him to confirm it lets you know many other things. You understand? Like, yeah, he don't know what he's doing like that. He might know a little bit of a lot, but how he try to make people believe he's there to save you, he need to save himself. Because he's hiding and hurt. I don't care what people got to say, how they feel, oh, this and that, whining or whatever. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. This year, May will be 3 entire years. 3 clean Johns. 3 clean Johns. Three years it'll be. 2 clean Johns. Shout out to Easy the Block Captain. But 3 years. May of this year, since this thing has been out. And to date, all you could just say when you think about whatever he created right now, whatever coins, blockchain, DEX, whatever he created right now, all you could look forward to right now is all-time lows. Consistent all-time lows. A brilliant person on Telegram, believe the person, shout out, if I say the name, people are they're gonna wrongly associate the name with the wrong person, but I'm not gonna put them out there. Person said, in quotes, tomorrow is the best day to buy Pulse chain. Tomorrow is the best day to buy Pulse chain. They're not wrong. Everything is backwards now. Everything is in the reverse. You get excited for new lows if you know what you're doing. If you've been around and blah, 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 or if you don't care, you like whatever. But that's how it is for some people. Some people, they retch, right? Complain, get super vexed because of the new lows. It's just the nature of what we do. But a lot of it is attached to your mans. Whether he wants to admit it or not. But you see, even he mentioned, like, people are selling into his personality. These things don't buy. He's hurt. Been hurt. Will continue to be hurt. He's hurt. And he's hiding. There's no other way to dress that up. There's no other way to explain it. There's no other way to pretend like you're a tough, revolutionary leader and you're behaving the opposite. You're behaving weak, right? Right? You're behaving like you're scared. And you could be in extreme, deep fear. Like, for real. And there's nothing wrong with that. But be real about it. These people took your prized possessions that you once praised online, celebrated, Your weirdo watches in your spinning box clock spinning collective. Yo, you let your watches spin like some weird, like this guy's weird, bro. That used to be a prize old Patek Philippe, Patek this and that. Then they ask you about watches, or that's the question you decided to answer about some watches, and you said, "Oh, don't get watches unless you want attention from men." But years ago, you were praising watches. You were showing off. Oh no, but that was just for marketing. That was just for exhibiting mental illness. See, there's mental mania involved here, y'all. Everything is not on the up and up with this situation right here, right? There's too many factors and variables I'm not even going to get into. But I've said and shared enough to let you, like, this dude ain't on the level. Something mentally wrong with him. The person who says that he's his brother, been online, in the community, whatever, the founder don't want to associate with his own brother, and you can see the resemblance. Whether it's real or not, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but hey, you're not even going to own your own, somebody who's saying they're your brother. It could be trolling, could not be, but it just speaks about character, speaks about who dude is. You're hiding in hurt. People looking for you, like looking for you, not in a nice way. There's no nice tone, right? It's not complimentary or sweet when you listen to international police having you on some type of wanted list, even if it's for questioning. Yo, recently I know someone who was questioned by law enforcement last week, right? This person, got into some kind of situation, right? Thought they were in the clear. Next thing you know, hello, who's there? Law enforcement, open your damn door, and I'm gonna violate your rights, and you're gonna be scared when you hear it's law enforcement, and you're gonna allow me to invade your life right now. And that's exactly what took place just last week. Law enforcement don't show up, and what they want, what the person asked, what's this about? What did I do? Am I getting arrested, etc., etc.? Like anyone else who's panicking. What is this? Why are you here, right? Law enforcement told her. Law enforcement told her, we just want you to give us a statement. She wasn't getting apprehended, arrested, taken to the station, detained. We just want a statement. But just their presence alone shakes you, rattles you. Something happens. If you a human being, it's not complimentary to have any type of law enforcement coming after you unless you work in the field and this is what you do. Unless you know them like that and it's another, nah. So miss me with a red notice. Oh, that's just nothing. All right. Why is it? All right. You zombies want the people to lie to the people. He said active. Oh, it's Gandhiji. What's up, man? He said, Wonder, my wife wants you to be more positive. First of all, greetings, salutations to your wife. And I appreciate that sentiment. Greetings and salutations to you and your wife, man. And she's not wrong. And you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to be more positive. I'm going to try. But in that situation, it's very difficult because, like I said, I had a hand in promoting, marketing, right? And pushing and in spreading the same message that these hypocrites are spreading today. I was doing that for years. And I feel like I did a disservice to my viewers. And that's not something that makes me, you're right, that I'm proud of. I'm not proud of that at all. And I understand the market global situation is cataclysmic right now. Everything is down, 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 down. But this situation that I was promoting never went up. This situation that I was promoting missed its cycle. This situation that I was promoting, right, has no leader. Right? In other words, it's been an absolute waste of time. For me personally. And people have experienced loss. You're talking years of work that has to be undone. Very difficult. But I have to undo it. I have to do my part to undo it. Or else, what good am I as far as being some type of person to really add to the betterment of a situation, right? I've onboarded people onto this help onboard people into this to have a terrible experience. You know? Yes, it was the other individual's choice to exercise and decide whether they want to get in or not. I get it, but it still doesn't take away from the stress, right? The disagreements, the fractured relationships that I've had to endure because I onboarded them into this madness. I don't talk to anybody in the real world about crypto anymore. It just stays here. In the real world, I don't talk to anybody in the real world about crypto anymore. On any level. Due to this. You know? From this is sad. It's a sad situation. But it's not I don't believe everything is permanent. I believe things will change. Things will change because I'm a glass half full type of person. But what I'm not gonna do is be fake and about the situation either. I'm not gonna be phony. I'm not gonna be phony about it. Because I understood my role in what I've done. That's why this guy is hiding and he's hurt. For many reasons and things that he's done to himself. And I don't feel sorry for him. What I feel sorry for are the people who still remain blind, who still choose to be unconscious and make excuses for his behavior, for his actions, right? And make excuses when you continue to experience loss after loss after loss and think that that's natural and that's okay. You know? Salute to y'all. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, man. Be well. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, noon, and night, and afternoon.